Hello everybody. In this unit we are going to discuss about the performance management. This has been structured under 5 heads. Number 1, concept of performance appraisal. Number 2, objectives of performance appraisal. Number 3, approaches to performance appraisal. Number 4, methods and techniques of appraising the performance. And 5, why do appraisal techniques prove failure at times? Now coming to the first subhead, that is concept of performance appraisal. Every one of us are appraised at one stage or the later by our employer or superior person. Now let us understand what is meant by performance appraisal. The performance appraisal is also known as the employee appraisal. It is a method by which the job performance of an employee is evaluated in terms of quality, quantity, cost and time. Therefore, performance appraisal is a part of career development and it is quite common in almost all the organizations. It is important in any organization because we have to assess the status of performance of the employees to develop the human resource development plans. Number 2, to arrive at the decisions relating to pay, promotion, transfers, demotions or even the terminations if the performance is not satisfactory. Then let us understand about the objectives of performance appraisal. Number 1, the first objective is to determine the quality of employees and to organize training needs based on the training needs of the employees. The second objective is to decide about the increments and to prepare an index for promotions. Number 3, to effect transfers to the positions of greater responsibility, that is the promotions. Number 4, to suggest the ways of improving the employee's performance when he is found to be not up to the mark. After knowing the objectives of the performance appraisal, then we have to see what are the approaches available to us to assess the performance of an employee. A casual and unscientific and often haphazard appraisal method was in vogue earlier. Mostly the seniority or the quantity is considered as a measure to evaluate the employees. Irrespective of his qualification, only the seniority or the quantity of the work turned out is considered as the appraisal output. The second approach is the traditional and highly systematic measurement. Here the evaluation of employee is done on the characteristics, different traits of the characteristics and also the contributions made by the employees, or both can be considered. The third type of performance appraisal is the behavioral approach, emphasizing the mutual goal setting. The mutual goal setting and appraisal by both the appraiser as well as the employees. Here the employee as well as the appraiser or the person in the higher order is considered while appraising the performance. The behavioral traits are given importance here while evaluating. Then the evaluation process, how the evaluation process is to be done. Number 1, establishment of performance standards. Develop the standards for the positions which are in the organization. These standards should be clear and very objective. It should not be vindictive, it should be very objective. Number 2, after establishment of performance standards, communicate these established standards to the employees through the circulars or through the office orders or putting it onto the website or by other means. Then third step is measurement of the performance using the standards that have been developed. Then the source of information for evaluation can be the personal observation, the statistical report, oral report or even the written report. The next fourth one is comparison of the actual performance against the standards fixed. If there are any deviations, that has to be noted here. And the fifth step is discussion on the performance levels and significant deviations. If there are any deviations which are very significant, which are very noteworthy, then we have to discuss with with the employees about the deviations that have taken place for the improvement of the performance in days to come. Then corrective actions to be taken. This is the sixth step. The corrective action, if there is inherent defect or if the evaluation is giving some sort of indication to take us some corrective factors which are of immediate nature we have to take, and if it is basic nature it can be basic nature, it can be immediate. Immediate means immediately what kind of measures we can take to improve the performance. The basic ones requires more time to find the real cause, to solve the solutions, to solve the problems permanently. Then there are some techniques available for us, the standard techniques. We shall see the techniques which are available to us to appraise the performance of the employees. According to Strauss and Sayce, there are two methods, namely traditional method. The personality traits are considered here to assess the performance. In the modern methods, the results oriented appraisals are done. It is mostly based on the objectives and also the output that has been carried out. The techniques which are now available in any organization can be classified into 7 types of appraisal techniques, and this has been given by Anderson, which is very common in any organization. Number 1, there are 7 methods. I said there are 7 methods. Among 7 methods, the first one is alphabetical or numerical rating. The second one is forced choice rating. Third one is personality trait rating. The fourth one is graphic rating. Fifth one is forced distribution rating. Sixth one is ranking, and the seventh one is paired comparison. Examples of each of these techniques are going to be discussed now. If you take at the first technique, that is alphabetical or numerical rating, here A, B, C, D, E, these are the alphabets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the numerals. On the continuum these are placed, and there will be the parameters or the indicators to assess the individual. Maybe the knowledge of, if I quote an example, knowledge of the present duties. The evaluator or the appraiser has to rate to which category that particular person falls against the statement or the indicator that has been chosen. If it is to be classified or rated under A, it is considered as the highest performance. If it is under E column, it is the lowest performance. Similarly, if it is rated under 1, it is the highest. If it is rated under column 5, it is the lowest. So, certain parameters are considered. For each parameter, a particular individual is rated by a superior. The important ones I will read. The knowledge of present duty is one thing, the planning ability, the skill in implementation of work plan, and like that. There will be a set of performance indicators, and for each set of indicator, the rating is done by the superior officer or the person in charge of rating the performance evaluation of an individual. The next is the forced choice technique. The term forced choice rating is used here because the evaluator or the appraiser will have only 2 choices. The performance is most effective, the performance is least effective. He has to rate under these 2 columns. For this purpose, the statements of work performance are categorized into 4 groups, or 4 statements are put together and called as one group. Out of the 4 statements in each group, the evaluator will rate which is the most effective performance and which is the least effective performance. Only out of 4 he has to rate for 2, the most effective one and the least effective one. So, this is like a grouping of the factors of work performance and rating for which factor an employee is very strong, in which factor the employee is weak. The third type of rating is personality trait rating. The personality trait, as I said, the personality can be confidence, then the enthusiasm, the maturity, maybe stability of an individual. So, here the appraiser has to rate the employee on 5-point continuum, 1 to 5. 1 is indicating the low confidence or the least performance, 5 indicating the highest performance. If I take the confident, how confident is the employee in his work? The employer may rate if he rates 3 or encircles 3, it is stated as the average performance. If he rate or if he encircles 1, considered as he has the low or the least performance. If it is rated I, then if it is encircled 5, it is the highest confidence. That means to say, the rating is done on the 5-point scale, mostly encircling is done here, and first indicate the serial number 1 indicating the less confidence and 5 indicating the highest confidence. Then next is the graphic rating scale, similar to that of the previous one. In the graphic rating scale, again the individual has to rate, or the appraiser has to rate the performance of an employee from very high output to the least output, considering certain parameters. It could be the quantity of work, it can be the quality of work, it can be the cooperation within the department or the organization, it can be the innovativeness of an individual. Rating is to be done from highest to the lowest performance. Then the forced distribution method. This is one type of peculiar method or an important method here. If there are 100 employees in an organization, the appraiser has to rate or pick 10 people who have performed best in the previous year, who have the highest performance ability, 10, and equal number has to be considered for the lowest performance. That means to say, out of 100, 10 have been placed for the highest performance and 10% have been placed for the least performance. Similarly, 20 people have to be placed in the box of below average category and 20 in above average category, and remaining 40 have to be placed in average category. That means to say, the employer or the appraiser has to categorize the individuals into average, below average, least average, above average and high average, and here he is forced to stick on to the percentage and numbers that has been indicated. Then ranking method. In the ranking method, what is done, the list of all the employees is taken on one side, on the other side the ranking is done. First, an individual, the first name is, out of 30 or 40 individuals in an organization, the name of a person is taken whose performance is the highest and written in the blank space given in the evaluation sheet. Similarly, out of the total employees working in an appraiser's area, select the least performer, and likewise the next is next highest and next lowest, then again next highest, next lowest, until all the members are covered. The rating has to be, or ranking has to be done. Then next is the paired comparison method. In a working group, there will be a work group. Some groups are formed. Supposing account section is one group. There an employee is taken and another set of individuals are taken, and the employee whom to be considered for evaluation will be matched with the other person. Supposing Krishna is an employee, he is matched with Ramesh. Compared to Ramesh, how is his performance? Is it higher or lower? Again, Krishna's performance is compared to another individual in the same unit, Umesh. How is his performance? Is it higher or lower? So it is done, taking another person into account while comparing. Then we have seen that in spite of the rigorous techniques in appraisal, sometimes the appraisals do not give a good result or fail, they will fail at times. Mainly because the supervisors play dual role of conflicting role of both the judge as well as the helper. You will be the supervising as well as you will be helping. Therefore, the objective assessment may not take place, and also too many objectives cause confusion. The supervisors feel that the subordinate appraisal is not rewarding to them. Otherwise, what happens, sometimes there can be a quarrel or misunderstanding. Therefore, the correct rating cannot be done. Considerable time gap exists between two appraisal programs. Normally it is done every year or annually. Therefore, there is a lot of gap in between. Then Poor communication also is another important factor. It is not communicated properly. Payback and appraisal is given unpleasant for both supervisor and the subordinate. So it is not considered, if the performance is not correct, the employee will not be pleasant, and also the employer will not be pleasant, because there can be disharmony in the organization. Then to sum up, a good performance appraisal system should help every employee to become more clear about his roles, identify opportunities for taking challenging jobs, experimenting and growing in the organization, to understand one's own strengths and weakness. The appraisal systems are designed to meet the following objectives: to control employees' behavior by using it as an instrument for rewards, punishments and threats, to make decisions regarding salary increases or promotions, and then to place the people to do the right kind of job, to identify the training needs, and also a number of rating scales are available to us. They can be used. Number one is alphabetical or numerical rating, forced choice rating, then personality trait rating, graphic rating scale, forced distribution, ranking and pair comparison. These are the techniques that are available. Thank you very much.